Hello everyone on YouTube, it's Jordan here again, and welcome back to another fantastic video which I'm sure you're all going to enjoy. And especially me, because tomorrow it will have been a year since I made the jump to Linux. And we're going to be celebrating with the first distribution I ever installed. And possibly the first distribution I got into properly. I'm talking about Ubuntu Mate. But we're not going to be installing an LTS version. We're going to be installing the latest stable version of Ubuntu Mate, which, at time of recording, is Ubuntu Mate 21.10 Impish Indre. This version of Ubuntu, as far as I know, is a lot more stable than the testing branch of Debian, which is soon to be a Debian bookworm in 2023, as far as I know. So I'm going to go off camera and we're going to be installing Ubuntu Mate 21.10. Now, I believe they fixed the accessibility issues that were in the previous release, so let's go take a look at that. I am about to go off camera. I'm going to power my main system on here, which is currently running Debian testing, but we're going to wipe Debian testing off the system and install a fresh copy of Ubuntu Mate. We just need to make sure that we do not boot into Debian. So far, so good. It looks like we are booting into the Ubuntu installation media, which is what we want. Now, what I like to do with any Linux distribution is check the version of the screen reader. Now, looking at Debian testing is running Orca 41.1, which currently has a few stability issues as far as I know. But those will be sorted in the long run, way before Debian Bookworm is set to release. And I believe that Ubuntu 21.10 initially gives us GNOME Forte, which is probably a few years, a bit older, but hey, it's they haven't made any new changes since GNOME Forte, so let's see if we can turn on our screen reader. Look at that, we can install straight away. Now, let's see what version of Orca we are running. Yep, we are running Orca 40.0. Now, what I want to do is change the voice really quick. So, I'm going into my voice. English UK. Actually, I want it to beep updates. Now, they have made this accessible. Thank goodness for that. Because in Ubuntu 21.04, also known as Hirsute Hippo, we couldn't install Ubuntu Mate with Orca. And I'm glad they fixed this. So we're going to go ahead and install this copy of Ubuntu Mate. And you're coming along with me. So you can do this, you can take your time doing this. You don't have to follow along with me. But if you're watching because you're interested in Linux, then keep watching because you can learn something. Okay, so I am in the welcome screen. So what I want to do is click on
Tab. Try Ubuntu push start tab. Install Ubuntu push button.
Click on install Ubuntu.
Return. Table with 99 rows 1 column. English US.
English, it's the same as any other Ubuntu we have installed. They haven't made any changes. So I want to use English UK.
English UK tab. English UK tab. Text tab. Detect keyboard layout push button.
Detect keyboard layout.
Tab. Quit push tab. Back tab. Continue push
I'm
button.
going to click continue.
Return. I don't want to connect to a Wi-Fi network right now. Left control.
My Wi-Fi code is recognised, so I want to connect to a Wi-Fi network.
Connect tab. BT9 Wi-Fi. BT Wi-Fi. BTW port tab. Quit port tab. Back port tab. Connect return. Wi-Fi network authentication tab. Password text.
Okay, Wi-Fi network authentication.
Wallet. Show password tab. Cancel tab. Connect push return install frame.
Right, let's connect.
Notification connection established. Left control.
Here we go, we're connected.
Tab. Connect to this net tab. BT tab. Quit put tab. Back put tab. Continue push button.
Click continue.
Return.
And then it's going through some other stages. It'll ask us what type of installation
Normal
we want.
installation. Selected radio button.
So we want a normal installation, which is recommended.
Tab. Download updates while installing Ubuntu made checkbox checked.
We certainly want to download updates while installing.
Tab. Install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware and additional media formats checkbox not checked.
We certainly want to do that.
Space. Checked.
So I'm going to check that, and then we've got to configure secure boot.
Tab. Learn more tab. Configure secure boot checkbox checked.
Yep.
Tab. Password text.
I'm going to tap in my secure boot key.
Black circle.
Now when you boot into your system, you're going to need this key only once.
Password text. Black circle.
So you're not really going to need it after that.
Quit push tab. Back push tab. Continue push button. Return. %.
Now, in your case, it will be...
Install Ubuntu mate alongside Debian GNU/Linux/bootworm/sys. Selected radio button.
Now, in your case, it will detect Linux, but in my case, it's detected. I've got Debian Bookworm installed on here, which is currently Debian testing at time of recording. So I'm going to click.
Erase this and install Ubuntu mate.
I'm going to erase this and install Ubuntu Mate. You're probably asking now, what's wrong with Debian? Well, really, you're not supposed to be running Debian testing as a daily driver, unlike Ubuntu Mate 21.10.
Tab. Advanced tab. Quit push tab. Back push tab. Install now push button.
I'm going to click install.
Return. Write the changes to disks. Dialog if you continue tab. Continue push button.
You don't need to go through this. There are plenty of videos I've done on this procedure.
Return.
I'm going to click return.
Install frame. 100%. Panel.
Okay, so now it's our time zone.
Tab. Text. London selected.
Yep, London sounds just about right. It's UK time zone, so
Tab.
don't really
Back
matter.
push tab. Continue push return. Your name. Text.
Tap in my name.
0.0 tab. The name it uses left control A. Left delete. Select left
I'm going
control.
to call my computer.
22%.
I'm going to call it. What am I going to call my computer?
37%.
Come on, think. I want to name it after a dessert or a drink. I know.
48%.
No, I'm going to call it. No, I'll just call it.
64%.
Come on, think.
Left control.
I'll just call it
72%.
monkey.
M-O-N-K-E-Y. Backspace. M-O-N-K-E-Y. M-O-N-K-E-Y. Backspace. Capital M.
No, I'll just call it. I'll just call it Ubuntu.
U-V-S-U.
Nothing else to
87
call it.
tab. Pick a username. Text. Jordan selected tab. Choose a pass. Black circle. Confirm your black Use Active Directory checkbox not checked tab. Continue push button. Return.
Active Directory is new, by the way.
0%.
It was
Finish loading ubiquity slideshow Ubuntu made.
It was introduced in this version of Ubuntu. So now we're getting on with the installation of Ubuntu. I couldn't think of a reasonable host name, so I decided to call it Ubuntu. But don't forget, we're celebrating me becoming a Linux user in this video.
11%.
Now I did say that I'd be installing
39%.
Installing Ubuntu, but this is Ubuntu Mate, which is basically, it's essentially Ubuntu, so I'm not really going to complain. I just want a system that's reliable. Debian testing isn't meant to be used daily like this version of Ubuntu is. And the name denotes it's a testing release, so it was meant for testing. That's why it's called Debian testing. The Debian developers really recommend that you install stable, except the problem with stable is you've got slightly out of date packages. But that makes sense because they've gone through extensive testing to make sure that they're bug free.
67%.
However, Ubuntu has more software in its repositories, a lot more than Debian.
87%.
And better support for hardware. So look at that, our installation is almost done. That went as quick as I thought it would do. And we're running a non-LTS version of Ubuntu here. And I'm going to show you what the welcome screen looks like once we boot into our new system and set things up. And the good thing is, you don't have to have an online account linked with Ubuntu or any other Linux distribution. It's not like Windows or Mac where you're literally required to use your Microsoft account or your Apple ID to enjoy using your computer.
92%.
Linux doesn't do that. It just gets out of the way and just lets you do the stuff that you want to do, like word processing or checking emails or browsing the internet, going on social media, all sorts of stuff. Linux just gets out of the way and is generally stable for the most part, depending on the distribution. Arch Linux is a rolling release and will always have problems with it.
93%.
I'm sorry, Arch users, but I feel sorry that you have to put up with bugs all the time. I do like Arch, I have tried it myself.
94%.
But Arch doesn't support secure boot. And we're nearly done with our installation. Because I've been rambling on so much.
95%.
Look at that, we are on 95% already. And that's because I was rambling on. Oh, how time flies.
94%.
So we are just about nearly done. Now I don't want to restart the installation when we do boot into our new system. So I'm going to unplug the drive once we actually boot into the new Ubuntu installation, and then we're going to take it from there. Now this computer's got an SSD in it, so it's reliably fast. And this being the very latest bleeding edge version of Ubuntu, it's pretty good. It's good enough for anyone. Now, for those who don't want to upgrade a lot,
97%. 100%.
they won't have to wait too long because the next version of Ubuntu is going to be a long-term support version.
Installation complete. Dialog installation is complete. You need to restart the computer in order to use the new installation. Restart now push button.
So I'm going to restart my computer.
Return.
And you'll notice that right after you press the enter key, it will say, please eject the installation media. The screen reader's not going to announce it. But I'm going to go press enter now. because it's going to boot into Ubuntu anyway, whether I like it or not. I want to make sure my screen reader is working. And it is indeed working. Well, actually, I tell a lie. No, it isn't. So what I'm going to have to do is log in manually. I have no idea why. There we go.
Welcome frame. Finish loading. Heading level 2. Scroll lock.
I have no idea why Ochre isn't working with LightDM. I might just switch to using GDM3 for the time being, because LightDM just currently isn't accessible. I don't know why. Okay, so here we are in Ubuntu Mate, logged into our new system. Now what I'm going to do is set my screen reader up the way I want it to be.
Screen reader preferences dialog. General page tab.
Okay, so here we are on the general page of the screen reader preferences. So I want to make sure that
Tab. Keep tab. Progress tab. Braille update tab. Beep updates checkbox ticked.
it's remembered that I want to have beeping updates for my progress bar. So that's brilliant.
Let Braille speak up. Keyboard layout panel. General page. Voice speech. Braille echo page. Braille page tab. Speech page tab.
Okay, so speech. Let's see.
Tab. Enable speech check tab. Verbose tab. Punctuation level panel. Most. Some. None. Left control.
No punctuation. I generally don't like it reading punctuation.
Verbosity panel. Verbose. Selected radio. Enable speech checkbox. Speech page tab. Braille echo page tab.
Now for our echo.
Tab. Enable space. Not
Nope.
tab. Space. Tick
Nope.
tab space. Tick tab. Enable echo by sentence. Echo. OK push button.
Our screen reader is all set up.
Return.
And now,
Screen reader settings reloaded. Welcome frame.
here we are in the Ubuntu Mate welcome. Now, what I love this welcome screen. It's a lot better than what Linux Mint gives you.
Preview data push button.
And here it wants to send data back to the developers. This is only the data about the computer. It's not about your. This doesn't identify or anything.
Send telemetry push.
I'm going to send this because. Hang on, let me just read up on it. Actually, no, I can't read up on
Do
it.
not send push button. Send
I'm
telemetry.
going to send it anyway because this stuff is free. It only sends information about the computer.
Continue push button. Ubuntu mate website put launchpad push GitHub push Twitter push Facebook put Discord put close push. Continue push
I'm going to
button.
click continue,
Loading. Please wait.
and we should have a few options set up here.
Introduction for features getting started. Alt push button.
But I'm pretty sure what most of us will be interested in here
Shop push button. Donate push community chat room software for browser selection push button.
is the browser selection. And right off the back, we can install Google Chrome, which is the first option.
Push install push
So
button.
I'm going to click install on Google Chrome.
Updating cache dialog loading software list. Cancel push button. 90%. Welcome frame. Authenticate dialog to install or remove.
I'm going to type my password in.
Installing packages dialog. 15%.
And this is going to go ahead and install Google Chrome.
33%.
It might be that this version of
66%.
LightDM isn't working properly. And that's why it's not accessible to screen reader users.
Welcome frame.
I've literally got no idea why it's not working, so what I'm going to do is change it to GDM3 because I know that GDM3 is somewhat accessible, and I like GDM3 for what it is. It's just that I can't. LightVM is normally accessible, but this is an Ubuntu Mate specific problem, or it might have something to do with Ubuntu itself. So in the meantime, you'll just have to tap in your credentials manually without speech for some reason. But anyway, we've got Google Chrome installed. Now, and before I end the video, we're going to take a look at what packages we have installed on this version of Ubuntu.
Push button, install push button.
So we're going into our
Menu.
applications menu and see what we've got.
Accept backups.
We've got the backup tool,
Character map, disks, and wrapper archive manager, firmware, mate calculator, mate font new, mate search to passwords and Keyclang, Plumer, Redshift, take screenshot, Ubuntu mate guide backups.
just your basic stuff here.
Accessories
Nothing
menu,
new.
collection menu.
This collection is pretty new.
Firefox web browser.
We've got Firefox in here, and that's all there is.
Collect graphics menu.
On the graphics we have
Document scanner. Mate image viewer. Image magic. Color depth equals Q16. LibreOffice raw. Mate color selection. Shotwell. Document scanner.
not too bad.
Graphic internet menu.
Under internet we have
Firefox web browser. Google Chrome. Transmission.
Google Chrome has been installed, and we've also got transmission for BitTorrent.
Firefox web browser.
Under Office
Interoffice menu.
we have
Actual document viewer. Evolution. LibreOffice. LibreOffice Calc. LibreOffice Raw. LibreOffice Impress. LibreOffice Math. LibreOffice Writer. Mate Dictionary.
I'm pretty sure these will be the latest versions of LibreOffice.
Office sound and video menu.
Under the sound and video category we have these options.
Celluloid. Rhythm box. Sound. Webcamoid. Celluloid.
We've got Celluloid here, and we've also got Webcamoid installed on here,
Rhythm box. Sound. Webcamoid.
which they started including in the images starting from Ubuntu 20.10
Sound system tools menu.
and other system tools.
Carter, GPMI package installer, log file viewer, mate disk image, mate disk, mate sys, mate term, power statistics, sys universal access menu, Magnus, onboard, screen reader, Magnus on screen reader.
So we've got Magnus, Onboard and Screen Reader and the Universal Access.
Unit places, system menu, preferences, administration menu, control administrators, software boutique, software updater, software and update users and through welcome, printers, software admin controls and preferences, hardware menu, internet and hardware menu, Bluetooth additional drivers.
Let's see if our computer needs additional drivers.
Welcome frame. Software and update stream. Additional drivers page, scroll pen close, addition, stroke close, stroke close push button.
It doesn't look like we need any additional drivers.
Welcome frame, introduction push button.
Now, I want to change one last setting before we go. Luckily, we've got a menu in our Mate panel, so I'm going to go and
Welcome
search
frame,
for
window, text, SEREN.
Screensaver.
Screensaver push, web, floating mate, regard the computer as idle after, horizontal slider 30, 120.
120.
Activate screensaver not
No.
ticked, lock screen when screensaver is active, checkbox ticked.
Lock screen when screensaver is active. I
Not
don't
ticked.
do that.
Long push start, help push power management.
Power
Power
management.
management actions panel. Put computer to sleep when inactive for combo box. Never.
Never.
When laptop lid is closed, put computer to sleep when inactive for combo box. When laptop display panel, set display brightness, put display to sleep when never. Set display brightness to horizontal slider 100 in display when idle checkbox not ticked. Help push button, close push button, screensaver preview, close push button. Welcome frame.
And that's just about it. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. In this, that's an installation of Ubuntu Mate 20.110. I mean 10. I mean whatever you want to call it.
Pause. Stop record.
This is Jordan signing off, saying have a good day, everyone.